What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a recent rumor suggesting that the Portland Trail Blazers could be on the verge of being sold for around $4 billion. Now, you might be asking, why the heck am I talking about this on the Chicago Bulls channel? I did make a video about it on the NBA channel. Feel free to check it out if you haven't already. But I want to talk about it in relation to the Chicago Bulls and ask a simple question. For all the people that were so graciously kind enough to click on this video and hear what they had to say about this guy right here, trying to listen to what he has to say about the situation. The question that I have for you guys is simple. Does Portland being sold for that amount of money, which is, it's a large sum, $4 billion ain't nothing to sneeze at, for that a large amount, could that in some way impact the Chicago Bulls? In a small way, in a big way? Could this potentially lead the Reinsdorfs to say, you know what, it's time to cash in? Could this potentially mean that maybe they don't cash in, but they would consider it? Maybe they're looking for partners, whatever the case may be. I want to talk a little bit about it in this video. Before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know what you guys think about Portland being sold for $4 billion, first and foremost, if it's going to happen. And will that lead to other teams thinking it's time to cash in from their organization's point of view? So let me start off by saying this, and this might be enough for everybody to click off the video in of itself. I don't think the Chicago Bulls are going to be sold anytime soon. We have been, as Bulls fans, on this saga of selling the team for so long. We've built billboards in relation to it. The fans have kind of chanted it in games and everything in between. I understand where that comes from, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything is going to translate. And with that being said, I find it hard to believe in the near future the Bulls organization is going to be sold. So I'll get that out of the way. I don't think for Portland being sold for $4 billion is going to mean much in the near future for the Bulls selling. But it could bring different conversations, ladies and gentlemen. And that is the beautiful side. I personally think where we're heading as, I guess, the entire world, sports teams are becoming much more profitable. They're becoming much more valued, and it's only going to get better as time goes past. I brought this example in the Portland video, and I'm going to bring it here as well. I am a Manchester United fan. In the world of football, yes, it has nothing to do with basketball, but Manchester United is one of the largest brands in the world today. They're one of the biggest teams in England. They have some of the biggest fan bases in sporting history. They have so much history in general. They're a very profitable organization, but they're also a team that is in trouble in terms of debts. Right now, they have about $1 billion in debt, maybe a little bit less than that. They're in trouble with financial fair play, which means they probably can't spend as much as they would like in terms of buying players and trying to make the team better. They've been having issues with advertisers and fans attacking their sponsors, which has been a big ongoing thing for Manchester United. So it's not like they're in the best possible position in order to be financially flexible, right? They're definitely far from that. In fact, they're also a team that has been cutting their employee and their staff numbers dramatically from the past 2 years. Yet they're a team that got sold for around $4 billion. And that is a team that's in turmoil financially. They got sold for around $4 billion. It's incredible to kind of think of. And that was a part ownership. It's not even a full ownership. It was a part ownership. This is not a Man United video. I need to move on, right? But a team in that much turmoil getting paid that significant amount. And then you come to the NBA side of things, and the Portland Trail Blazers are on the verge of being sold for $4 billion. They're not a large market team, ladies and gentlemen. But they're getting sold for that much. It's an astounding feat. And I think there will be teams that will look at the Portland situation and say, we could get more. The Clippers, for example, maybe Sacramento, maybe it's a whole bunch of teams. Maybe it's Brooklyn, New York, it doesn't matter. They're probably thinking they could get more, and they might kind of enter into that situation where they will go for it. They will try their absolute best to get as much value out of their organization as possible, cash in, go live on the beach somewhere, and never think about money again. But here's why I think it's not going to be a big thing for the Chicago Bulls in the near future. I have two reasons. One, It's a family business. It's a family business. The Chicago Bulls is a family business. The Reinsdorfs. We know what's going to happen. And I don't want to say this in a mean way. I'm going to try and make my words clear, but also not try to be disrespectful in this situation. I think what's going to happen is that this organization is going to go into the hands from one generation to the next generation. So it's going to go from Jerry Reinsdorf to his kids, and from his kids to his kids' kids, you know, the grandkids and all these, and it's going to go down like a family business should. I have a family business, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I do have a family business. Nowhere near as profitable as the Chicago Bulls, I'll tell you that much, and nowhere near. I'll be living good if we were that financially successful. But I could tell you from someone that does have a family business, you want to be part of the solution of making it great. You want to be, I guess, representing proud. You want to be in that environment. You don't want to just let it go. Some people don't. Of course, not every family business is the same. Some people couldn't care less, but some people do care. And you want to be part of the solution, and you want to try and grow the business as much as possible. That's how family businesses tend to work. So you go to the Chicago Bulls organization, and if you think of it as a family business, you would assume that once Jerry Reinsdorf does eventually give the reins to his kids would want to try and be part of the solution and make things happen to which the Bulls could be successful again. Or maybe it is they just want to be part of making the money every year. It doesn't matter what the outcome is, but family businesses, they tend to carry over for that specific reason. So that's the first reason why I don't think the Chicago Bulls in the near future are going to sell $4 billion, $5 billion, $6 billion. It doesn't matter how much it is that it could be rumored for. The second reason is, as big as sporting teams are now, I mentioned it at the start of the video, it's only going to get better. You know, Man United projected in 10 years' time is to be worth around 8 to 9 billion, potentially even 10 billion. And I think the NBA is following suit with the amount of TV deals they're getting, the publicity that they're getting worldwide now these days, how every league around them is growing as well. That only adds for the NBA as well. It doesn't hurt them, it helps them. So the NBA is only going to go up in terms of profitability and in terms of viewership probably, and even in terms of, I guess, awareness and just eyes around the product. How much money they get from League Pass, all these things. Teams are only going to get higher valued in 5, 6, 7, 8 years time. So the Chicago Bulls might be worth, if Portland gets $4 billion, I think we could get 5 at least. Because, you know, we're kind of down in the dumps as an organization right now, but I think we could get 5 billion at least. In 10 years time, we could be worth 10. And a smart businessman will look at situations like this and would be willing to wait in order to sell. And if anything, we know about the Reinsdorfs, they are very money orientated. They will look at the profit margins. They will look at the value of the team, and they will look at the value of the team in the future. They will have financial advisors giving them instructions and advice about how to orchestrate the best profitability for this team. They will have all those things in place. So if they were considering selling, I think they'd be considering selling in 5 to 10 years time when the profit level is on another level. And that is just something we have to wait and see about, sorry. But before I go, I want to make this clear. This might be controversial, this might not be controversial, but we did talk about how the Reinsdorfs is a family business and it could go down to, you know, the second generation and so on and so forth, and they could take over and have the reins. One thing I know for sure from the businesses I've looked at, don't treat the Reinsdorfs kids as Jerry Reinsdorf now. That's the message I'm going to say to you guys. Just because they share the same name does not mean they share the same business practices. Does not mean they share the same values. Does not mean they really share much except for having that last name. You know, I think of an organization like the WWE and Vince McMahon. You know, he went completely against his father's wishes for the business. He went completely against what his father wanted to make the business great and to make the WWE one of the largest entities of all time. I think of that situation. You know, if they all shared the same morals and values and they shared the same ideas, the WWE would be nowhere near where it is now. And I say that in relation to the Reinsdorfs and their kids, just because you think the Reinsdorfs are money-hungry people, for example, doesn't mean their kids will be the same. And you need to give them the chance, if it is going to go to them eventually, to grow the organization and to maybe do different things that we might see and approve of. I'll say that. That's controversial because, you know, Bulls fans just, you know, when they think of the Reinsdorfs, they just instantly hate. And there's right now, there's really no reason not to hate at this point. No disrespect. But you got to be very well aware not everybody's the same and not everybody's going to treat a business the same. There you go. There you go. Just being honest. I did a lot of my studies in university about management and business and sports business and all these things. Like, I've done my research on these things. I ain't no pushover in this regard. So that's what I have to say to you. It's not like I'm saying they won't be the same, but there's a chance they'll be different. And you need to really consider that in the future. Anyway, goodbye. See you later. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care. And peace.